I asked everybody earlier, and I just thought this would be a really good question. What's a song you sing to yourself when nothing's going on? You're just there by yourself, nothing's happening, and you're like breaking out into song. For me, it's "What If God Was One of Us?" And I don't know.
Is it because of Austin Powers?
Oh my God, you know that is true, but I don't think so. I don't know. I'm just like doing menial tasks, and I'm just like, what if God was one of us? And it's just become really tiring. It's just like TikTok songs that get stuck in your head.
Yeah, I think TikTok songs get stuck in my head, and I'll sing those randomly, or the Harry Potter theme. Like, just randomly, I'll be doing
folding laundry.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? I'm like, I like Harry Potter, but it's not something I watch very often, so I don't know why it gets stuck in my head.
You know, it makes total sense because for me, it's the Jurassic Park theme, and if it was anything, it'd be a switch.
Yeah,
like I would probably, for whatever reason, just go da na 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 na, and that it's just stuck in my head all day.
Go off.
It's a good theme.
I get Phantom of the Opera stuck in my head a lot. That or like Angel of Music. For some reason, I don't know why.
Any music?
I get that in my head. Yeah.
I've never seen Phantom of the Opera.
It's on the list.
Can you sing a little tune?
Will we get in trouble?
I mean,
we've
already done a
3
couple.
times.
Like you're just gonna do like a few seconds.
Dinged.
It has to
For,
be
like,
under
less than
like
5
a couple
seconds.
seconds,
Yeah.
I think. So
Like you're just referencing it to like show people you know what you're talking about, not so much like trying to monetize that.
is it the dun 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 dun?
That part, or also it's that song, but then when the Phantom is sing to me,
Yeah.
and Christine's fucking doing fucking hitting the fucking notes, and Phantom's over there fucking nutting in the back, like.
Huh. I don't get that reference.
Hey y'all, welcome to Sit Down Loser. We're watching a movie. My name's Dahlia.
I'm Sky.
I'm Antonio.
And I'm Ketzel.
And we're just 4 sexy demonologists who watch movies that everyone else has watched, except one of us is a loser who hasn't. Today we're watching a movie that continues a cinematic universe that doesn't include Nick Fury. Or does it? The Conjuring 2, released in 2016, directed by James Wan. So guys, who's the loser today?
Me, Ketzel.
Hi.
I've seen The Conjuring. I will say that. It's been a while. Sky was the one that made me watch The Conjuring back when we were little tots. I don't know how old we were, but younger than we are now.
I remember when I watched The Conjuring for the first time. We were drunk.
Was it in daycare?
I remember when I had my first beer.
No, we came home drunk and like we started watching The Conjuring and then we fell asleep.
Nope. That was Annabelle.
Oh.
Ooh.
I really don't care about The Conjuring apparently because every time that I keep thinking about like what this movie is about, I keep thinking Annabelle movies.
I even not spoiler explained it to you and you still were like, huh.
That's usually his reaction with most things.
We're all gonna just be surprised today. I haven't seen it in a while.
Have I seen this movie? I don't even know now. I know we've seen this movie. We were probably in the theaters together.
So today's losers are Ketzel and Antonio.
Apparently. I saw this movie with my mom.
My mommy?
This is going to be my I love my mommy movie episode because I go see these with my mom every time because no one else goes to see it with her and I don't want her to go by herself.
And it's
your mom's fucking hardcore.
Your mom's cooler than all of us.
You know,
I love your mom.
So I told her because I saw The Conjuring 3 last night. It came out yesterday was Friday. Right. The Friday it came out. I told her, I was like, I'm going to make Antonio watch this movie. And my mom was like, that's mean. And I was like, that's not mean because he makes me watch nasty movies. I was like, Mom, have you ever seen Wrong Turn? She's like, no, I think they're like slashers, right? I'm like, yeah, they're slashers, but they're nasty. And not in a gory way. They're just nasty.
They're depraved.
They're like backwoods, disgusting type shit. And I hate that movie. And I refuse to watch the new one.
What a
on principle.
In my defense, that was the fourth Wrong Turn movie. No. And I didn't ask Sky to stay in the room or anything. I just happened to put it on because I was like, why not? I don't even know if I've seen 1 through 3. I'm pretty sure I've seen the first one, but like the other ones, don't know. But 4 was on, and I was like, why not? Give
That's
it a moment.
also what I told my mom. I was like, it wasn't even the first one. It was like 4 or 3 or something.
Oh my god.
I do kind of want to watch that remake, though. I might take some time to myself and just watch it.
Well,
you do that. Good luck,
take
buddy.
some time to yourself.
Not your
Back to the
comfort movie.
Conjuring 2.
Sorry, that was a tangent.
I have some
anyway.
weird comfort movies.
Yeah, that's
We
not
know.
a comfort movie, Ketzel. My goodness, I've seen the trailer for it. It's garbage.
Yeah, but fucking Antonio's comfort movie, his definition is a little different than the rest of ours.
That was so... the way you said that was...
Pointed, angry.
All right. So
Okay.
why did we pick this besides Ketzel being the loser?
So I'm actually gonna volley it back to you because I have seen The Conjuring, but I haven't seen The Conjuring 2, Electric Boogaloo. But Conjuring 3 just came out, and so this is timely for horror
For
universe.
recording.
For
Yeah.
recording and for horror fans because we love horror. But also Sky has a lot of strong feelings about the cinematic universe.
Well, I don't have a lot of strong feelings about it. I was just going to tell you about how I almost laughed in the theater. But it is cool that this is, like, an actual, like, cinematic universe for, like, horror movies. Because we got The Conjuring 1, 2, and 3. We got Annabelle 1, 2, and 3. And then we have The Nun. And I think they're making another one that's based off of something in this movie, in the second one, that I won't say because it's in the movie. But it's a lot, and it's kind of cool that they're all connected, and they kind of call back to each other at some points in them. So
Interesting. I
Yeah.
like that. It's like Marvel, but spooky.
yeah,
We love
spooky.
spooky things. That's one of the other things that we probably chose this movie for, is that we all are really big fans of horror movies. We're not pansies.
I like when I watch movies with friends because, like, I'm not gonna lie, I watched Hereditary for the first time with these guys, and what was it? Midsummer also, and I was like up all night after I came home from their house, and I was like, I gotta find out more. What did I miss? I gotta look it up. I gotta read the summaries again, and it kept me up at night.
when you watched it at our house, because it was Halloween. We watched it on Halloween. It was like after your virtual party, because this was during 2020. We had put it on because we were like, Dahlia, you haven't seen Hereditary, and we were like,
And
that's
they're
spooky.
like,
Let's watch it. Yeah. And we put it on, and at the very end, Dahlia was like, I gotta watch YouTube videos. And we watched like 3 YouTube videos with her afterwards while we were cleaning.
and then
20-minute
I proceeded
long.
to watch more.
Yeah, Hereditary is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Kind of wish no one had seen it, so that way
So
we could do it for the
we could
pod.
watch it.
I
I know, I wish we had saved it, but who knew?
I also like these movies because of, like, I don't know, the style. James Wan has done a lot of stuff, and he also did, I think, the Insidious movies too. So, right? I could be wrong.
He did one of my, I don't know if it's one of my favorites, but one I really do enjoy and haven't actually seen in a while is Dead Silence.
Ooh,
I haven't
yep.
seen that one.
You haven't seen
I've
that
seen
one?
that one.
I
No.
hate
I mean,
that
I know
one.
it's.
We're
Is
putting
it like
that
a
on the list.
Goosebumps like
No.
ripoff?
No.
We'll put it on the list.
Oh,
Anyway, he also did Saw, the first
Yeah.
Saw movie.
He did Saw, and he did do Insidious. I just looked it
Okay,
up.
cool.
So he gave,
Yeah,
and
because he
Saw-
does like the first one. James Wan and Lee Wan-el both.
Did the first Saw.
First Saw
Yeah.
or first Insidious?
No, both. I think.
Both?
I just looked it up. Yeah.
Okay.
But I like those. Also kept me up at night. And I'm like, I gotta find out more. So, but I don't want to put Dead Silence on the list. I don't like marionettes.
Well,
I'll watch it for you, Antonio.
Yay.
It's good. It's a fun one. That one's fun.
It's all right. I won't make you watch any of the weird stuff. Oh, no. Never mind. That's a lie. One of
It's
my
okay.
movies is on here.
I'll be
What
amongst
movie?
friends.
The Poughkeepsie tapes.
Oh, fuck.
You guys wouldn't. would,
I just felt sick.
I'm already wary.
Oh, here's another Austin Powers. Like when something bad happens. Da-na-na-na-na, na-na-na. There you go. You're welcome.
Anyway.
Don't lose your lunch, kids.
Yeah. I would say these, and that's another thing, these movies kind of, they gave new life to, like, based on a true story horror movies, like, in the now times. And I would say these ones especially are very, very, very loosely based on a true story.
Yeah.
Because it's cool to see, like, because I know a lot of horror fans really like, because I saw someone talk about this, I think it was like a tweet or something, they were like, oh, it's nice to see like horror characters be looked up to that aren't killers.
Mm.
Because Ed and Lorraine are, they're good people.
They're the heroes.
They're the
of
heroes.
story.
And it's nice to see, like, people, like, I guess, I don't want to say fangirl, but, like, fangirl over them and stuff, rather than, like, Freddy
serial
Krueger.
killer.
Yeah, like, Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger or Michael Myers. And, like, I know, like, most people when they say, because, like, I have a Freddy Krueger tattoo, but I know he's a bad person. But it's a movie, and it's not that I look up to him or anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I think it's nice that these movies are good in that way.
it's a black hat movie, but it's white hat protagonists.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Westworld reference.
It is.
Okay.
I know
that.
I was
I
like, I
started
was
watching
nodding,
it.
and I was like, yes.
I started
Precisely.
watching it, and I still don't know what's going on.
It's you'll get. I don't even know if I got through the second season, but I'm pretty sure I did. And there's like some big revelation.
But all I know is hot cast.
Oh yeah, hot cast.
cast.
Definitely worth watching.
My one TV plug, Hotcast Westworld, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Ugh.
Moving on.
Anyway,
Moving on.
That's
Let
not
me
your
tell you.
one.
I'll tell you what I know about this film, and it's not much. I remember the first Conjuring, and I remember this one really gross vomiting part that Sky just stared at me to see my reaction, and that's like the most clear memory I have of watching The Conjuring. As for The Conjuring 2, I don't know anything except for apparently has nothing to do with the first one.
yeah. So that's
I don't need to remember. Do I need to remember anything from the first Conjuring?
Aside from the fact that their name are Ed and Lorraine. No.
Yeah, and I know
Yeah,
that.
and
I
what
know
they do.
that.
But that's about
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, that's another reason why like we kind of decided to do this one was because it's a sequel, but you don't have to see the first one in order to see the second one. They're all kind of separate from each other. Yeah, like I said, they do call out to other movies in these, but it's very small and it wouldn't confuse the average viewer.
The average-minded person like myself.
Simple-minded, really.
No, yes.
Yeah,
I'll
not
be fine.
average. Less than average.
But yeah, no, you don't need to know anything about The Conjuring 1 in order to watch 2.
Right. And as for the list of actors, obviously I know Vera and Patrick Wilson, going back to my Phantom of the Opera plug earlier on. Raoul. But the other ones I do not know. Francis O'Connor, name looks familiar, but I know Vera and Patrick from like these movies.
And the Rotten Tomatoes score is 80%. The audience is 81%, and then Google users is 92%.
Which is
So
pretty,
it's pretty
good
high.
for a sequel.
Yeah.
For a
Mhm.
fucking sequel.
Mm-hmm. A horror
So-
sequel too. At that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel confident about it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm ready to be surprised.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. There's one specific scene in this movie that I remember because I saw it in the theaters with my mom. That I was literally like, I'd rather be anywhere else but here right now. I was so scared.
Horror movie
okay.
violins.
This is the first horror movie I have seen in my new apartment since living alone.
Happy Halloween,
Prayers up.
Ketzel.
Let's all join
Thoughts
hands
and
and form a
prayers.
circle. All right, guys. So I guess we're gonna start this movie. We'll see you on the flip side.
All right.
And we're live.
And we're back. Ooky, spooky, kooky.
That was a good movie. I forgot how good it was.
It was a lot better than I remember.
Well,
the
they
only-
scream.
It did make you scream a couple times.
Me? Yeah.
no,
probably.
no.
Oh, it made you scream.
Dahlia.
Yeah.
Dahlia is a
I feel like
screamer.
you physically screamed. Dahlia actually screamed. Like your body
Your
screamed.
body
Yeah.
tensed up. You're like,
Yeah.
You're just like, I jump silently.
And I was just sitting back in the chair chilling.
I annoyed everybody in my house, but it's my house.
This is my house. And
My
with that,
house.
in the middle of my house. And I want to start off with the fact that this starts with the Amityville house, which takes me back to the Ryan Reynolds movie.
I've never seen the movie. When you said that though, I know.
It's bad. It's not a good movie, but hims?
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is great
Hot.
in that movie.
But
Hot.
I hear
There are a couple of scenes like that still stick with me from that movie, though.
Shirtless.
Too,
like
actually.
the ending.
I can think of
You know,
some.
I'm
hear
not
that
saying, like-
horror, like that whole story is like really, really good. I've never seen the Ryan Reynolds film, so sorry, but I mean, I'm very curious to know about this. I like a lot of true crime, but this is like, ooh.
I feel like that kind of it's in a weird space of true crime and like supernatural, but it is true crime because you know
It's fake.
someone did
true
murder
crime.
people in that house.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the part in the beginning, because in the beginning the Warrens are called to the Amityville house. This is after the Lutz family has had the whole happening and they've moved out. So they're called there to investigate the house for like supernatural stuff. And Lorraine's kind of using her clairvoyancy to see what happened in that house. And she's going through the house as the person that murdered everyone in that house. What happened that night. And there's this specific scene that I had said of this boy on the staircase. And I was like, ooh, it gave me goosebumps because it is an actual picture that
Are you
they
gonna
took.
show it to me?
I'm sending it
Oh
to you
my
guys.
god.
Oop.
This is an actual picture they took after the Lutz family moved out of the Amityville house.
Will we post it on Instagram?
Sorry, y'all. Let me
We
just
sure fucking will.
put
No,
Man.
Do
ma'am.
not disturb.
I've seen this picture so many times, and I don't know, it gives me the creeps every time I see it. Also, because I don't like scary kids.
Because I don't like children.
I don't like kids. I don't know how to talk to babies.
This is too spooky. I don't fucking like that shit.
You
How do we know
you
that
talk to
this
me
is
just
not,
fine.
Like a glare.
What was that from? That's-
Fleabag.
Fleabag?
The hot priest.
The hot priest is like, oh, I don't know how
I
to
don't
talk
know
to
how
kids.
babies. And I was like, that is so relatable. Because I also don't know how to talk to babies. Because your nephew, I'm like, hi, hello. And I'm like, I don't know what else to say. You don't know anything about, like, I don't know, like
Anything?
tax returns or anything. I don't know what
You would talk
about.
to someone about tax returns?
I don't know.
This was like 10 out of 10 disturbing. I don't like this picture.
Cursed
Oof.
image.
But that is it. But it's an actual picture. So the frame from the movie represents that picture. And I was like, ooh, that's spooky.
Yeah.
So then, past that, Lorraine goes and sees a vision of this scary nun.
The nun.
And the nun, Le Nun.
Lena.
And she sees a vision of her husband, Ed Warren, dying. And then that's kind of the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, she's like, we can't do this anymore. We can't do this anymore.
We gotta stop.
we
gotta
can't
stop.
keep getting
We gotta
away with
stop.
this.
But little did they know that something was going on across the pond. Because they're in America. Like, Amityville happened in America. So the place that's happening now is in Enfield, London, England. And that's where our story takes place. Strange happenings happening there.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good start. So we come to see the family before they get haunted, and it starts out with that little girl, like with her little like best friend who's like smoking, and she's like,
When
"Here's
they're
your-
like 12.
The 3-year-old friend.
here's
They're
your-
like, they're
here's your spirit
3.
board. You can have the spirit board back, for keepsies for right now." And then she's like smoking a cigarette, and she's like, "Oh my god, I want to go kiss this older boy, and maybe I'll let him French kiss me." And I'm like, "Ugh." Like,
Ugh,
first of
you
all,
are
you're like
12.
11, and you're like smoking and asking for a French kiss. I'm like, yikes. But this was also London, or what is it, England in the 70s.
They don't even
there
know
was a
where
lot of
France
shit
is.
happening.
What were you even doing when you were 11?
I wasn't doing that. I was playing with my fucking Polly Pockets.
I think it was Transformers. I was probably watching like the
think I was
Transformers
playing with,
cartoon.
like at 11,
Probably.
like Pokemon and Digimon.
Yeah. I was too busy playing my Game Boy Advanced.
Also, this whole story takes place between 1977 and 1979.
Big yikes. So yeah, she gets her and her cool friend are smoking on the stairs, and she gives her the spirit board, and she's smoking a cigarette, and the teacher catches them. But of course, our like main person is the one holding the cigarette when they get caught, so she gets in trouble. So that was great, and yeah, that was so crazy. And we have her sister talking to her. She's like, "It'll be all right. Don't worry about it." And she uses this funny word, "barmy," which is totally unknown to us until right now because we looked it up.
I knew it.
I was
means
aware of the word.
mad.
Do I know
You
what it really
were?
means or anything?
I was.
Okay,
I'm built
British
different.
show watchers.
That's Beatlemaniac to you, please. Dude, can I say really quick, and you can totally cut this. When we went to Beatles trivia, I was like, that should be our team name.
That was my username in a lot of things for listeners. I'm not ashamed of who I was. I am ashamed that it's coming out now. Mazel tov, by the way, on winning Beatles trivia.
Thank you. Dude, that was all Dahlia. I only helped with like maybe 2 questions.
Nice.
Proud.
Lucky guesses.
I actually studied, so yay.
Yeah, Dahlia won.
I'm so proud of
Hard
you
work
guys.
pays off, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Study hard.
Go to school, study hard.
Take notes.
Education. But yeah, like so they start hearing like whispering, and it's like all creepy and weird, and it's like they hear this old guy going like, my house, and it's like spooky, so they don't really know what to do with that. And like, I don't know, we see the youngest son, Billy, who I think he has a stutter. He leaves his shit on the stairs, of course, so he's like, oh fuck, I can't believe I left this here. He stubbed his toe, so he tosses it into his little play tent, and then he goes to his room to sleep. But then that fucking shit rolls down the hall right into his room, and he's like, and it's horrible. I'm
Terrible.
not gonna lie, like that really frightened me. I hated that scene.
I hate that scene so much. I'm just like, no, I don't want any dark spaces for things to hide in my home.
Can I just put my covers over my head and just pretend it's not happening?
And then at the same time too, I think it was the same. It's either the same night or maybe the night before, same time frame. Janet, who is our, I wouldn't say, I guess main character. She's
I
like
would
the
say
middle
so.
child, but she's like
would say that.
she's the main possessor.
Mhm.
Is showing up in random places. She'll fall asleep in her bed, and then she'll wake up downstairs by this mysterious armchair. Spooky armchair.
Why are we going there?
Ooh.
We'll find out.
Ooh.
But she's like, oh no, Mom, I'm just sleepwalking again.
Mm-hmm.
And so they dismiss that, of course, because they're like, you're being dumb. So her mom checks on her, though. She's like, oh my God, you're burning up, and lets her stay home from school, like alone, obviously, because she's a single mother. Everybody's got to go to school. She's got to work. And then she's there by herself, like discovering that spooky things are happening. She's just trying to watch TV, eating a sandwich on the couch, okay? We're like, this is 77.
Just watch some like comedy shows that
she's
are on
just
in
trying
the
to watch her
daytime.
soaps.
I'm
Must
just
be
trying
soaps.
to live.
It's like The Price is Right at like 12 p.m.
yeah.
yeah.
Can I
Family
just
Feud with
watch
Steve
my
Harvey.
show?
Yeah, that's exactly what all she wants to do is just watch this funny crap in the middle of the day on her little sick day.
Well,
But
she's
not
by herself.
today. Not today.
She's not.
because
She's
the
not by
remote-
herself.
Nope.
She picks up the remote to change the channel because it mysteriously changed to a different channel. And then when she goes to pick it up again because the channel's changed, it's not there. And she's like, what the fuck? So she's freaking out. Some ghosty stuff happens, and she sees that in that same corner where she was sitting in the chair the previous evening, there's a mysterious presence, and the remote was there. And so she goes to just sit back down because she's like, it's fine. And then there's that, we finally see the face of the old man who's haunting her, and he's like, my house. I'm not going to say it much louder because it's very annoying, but it was very scary. So we know that there's an old man haunting her at this point.
Man. Stubborn old men.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just escalates from there, and she starts trying to kind of tie herself to the bed because she thinks she's sleepwalking and tries to stop that. That doesn't work. It just escalates even more. Mom comes in because they're causing a ruckus because her and her sister share a room. So they're like screaming. And obviously mom comes in and she's like, y'all are just having bad dreams, blah, 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 blah. And as mom's in there, the fucking dresser slams into the door, closes the door, and everyone's freaked out, and they run to the neighbor's house. So
May I
they're
say-
now staying with their neighbors.
How refreshing it was to see a horror movie where they actually run out of the house and they say, nope, peace out. I'm not dealing with this. Refreshing.
Right? Also, that they kind of nix that whole, like, I have a problem child super fast. Because any other movie, they would have been like, oh, she's just causing problems for at least 3-4 more scenes before mom gets on board. Nope. All it takes is one little move to dresser and everyone's on board.
Yo,
Well,
we gotta
yeah.
get out of this house right now. We gotta go to our neighbors.
Yeah.
So they go to their neighbors, the Nottinghams, and they're like, yo, this shit is fucked. And then, of course, the husband is like, hey, I called the police. And so they go with the police into the house, and they're like, are you sure? Are you sure this is happening? And then they're all there in the kitchen after inspecting the upstairs, and they're like, okay, let me see what's happening. And so one of the police people asks for a chair. They stand up on it, listen to the wall. They knock, it knocks back, and they're like, oh, it's probably mice. And she's like, the mom is like, that's a big fucking mouse. So she gets off the chair, the police person, and then it starts fucking moving on its own. And then it moves in the hallway, like through the whole fucking hallway into the kitchen, and they're like, yep, we can't help with that.
Yeah, the next scene is like them leaving, and they're like,
They're
hey,
not.
yo, we can't help you, but you can call these people, and they might
I'll have
be
a
able to
priest
help
come
you.
down. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna let him know that you're fucked. Y'all are fucked, and you know what? You need Jesus.
So that's kind of when the end, because it's Enfield, that's when it kind of starts getting publicity and it starts getting really popular. But we cut back to Lorraine and Ed just chilling at their house, doing what they need to do. And Ed had a dream. He's like, I had this weird dream, and I just started painting this painting. And it was,
And we're like, oh my god, a painting.
yeah, because Lorraine,
How romantic.
yeah, she just woke up and she come in and you can't see the painting.
And
he's
handsome
like,
as
"I just-
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, he's like, I just had this, I had to paint this. I had a weird dream, and he's like, I can't just get it out of my head. And it's this huge painting of this scary ass nun.
Which,
Horror movie violins.
let me tell you, I saved the story when so the nun came out my first year of teaching, and none of my kids obviously could see it, but they would see the poster and they would all get scared. And I was walking by while the kids were doodling, and I turned down, and what do I see? One of my kids doodling, the nun. So that reminded me of that. I was like, what the fuck? Give me that.
It's because kids
Basically
are,
same thing.
They're so naturally interested in the things that scare them. And that's so interesting about kids. They're just like, I don't know why I drew it. I just drew it because I was interesting. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. And it's like, that's fucked, but okay.
Yeah, that was me. They would draw Pennywise. They would do comics with Pennywise and the nun. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, guys?
You guys aren't allowed to know what that is quite yet, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same thing. Like, kids are really into like Five Nights at Freddy's and stuff.
Yeah,
but
which
that's,
is,
like
Oh my
scary
terrifying.
shit.
god.
But they're really interested in it.
They are. They love
I can't
horror.
even play that game. Like, I had to watch you guys play that game. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Of which
Five Nights at
Ketzel
Freddy's.
was
Ketzel,
the only one who could.
Ketzel beat the game, which
Thank
beat the
you.
game.
I'm
Thank
still
you.
mad about.
Well, I would like to say Sky fell asleep for my victory. But
And it
Antonio was
tired.
there.
Me and Dahlia both fell asleep.
But Antonio was there every step of the way. My man.
Congratulations.
Yeah, because that's when Antonio decided to help.
Oh, I can't do scary video games. Like having movies.
Yeah, I know.
having
You barely
movies.
help. Every time we're playing Little Nightmares 2, I'm like, Antonio, I don't know what to do, and you're like, okay, well, let's think about this. But I have to ask you because I'm like, I don't know what to do now.
That's scary.
I don't
But
like
it's
having
fun.
agency. It's
You're not even playing. I'm the
No.
one playing.
having any amount of agency.
Oh my god.
You know what?
You watch the videos though.
Yeah, I don't have agency. I don't have to do anything.
Oh
I had to
my
have
God.
a
If it
friend
happens, it happens on
play
a
with
video.
me while I was playing Fallout 3 because I would be so scared to like kill anybody or hurt anybody. I'd be like, no, you do it. Like, I'll tell you what to do, but you handle it because I was just too scared. It was. Oh, there's a lot of pressure. There's the stress poops just coming back. No, thank you.
Stress poops.
But yes, we're at Ed and Lorraine's house.
Yeah,
She sees
speaking
that
of stress
fucking
poops.
scary ass fucking painting. It's like, I thought you were painting me a beautiful field of flowers or some shit, and it's a fucking nun. And it's like, okay, so we just go have breakfast in the kitchen, like no fucking big deal. But what do we see, Sky? Because at that point, I started seeing some things.
Well, okay, so should we say that now or at the
Yeah,
end?
why not?
Well, I thought it starts with the daughter.
Okay, well, yeah, we'll get to that part. So, so he had painted this painting. It's in the house. They put it in their office. So we then cut, because obviously this is all going back
Jumbling.
and forth.
Yeah.
But like we cut to a scene where it's Lorraine and her daughter, and her daughter's like making like this friendship bracelet or whatever, and Lorraine's reading her Bible, and her daughter like stops and like senses something and goes into the other room, and Lorraine notices and follows her daughter, and she's like, what's wrong, and her daughter's like, who's that?
Who dat?
And she points
Who dat?
to the who dat that do that. And she points to the end of the hallway, and Lorraine looks up, and it's the motherfucking nun from the motherfucking painting at the end of the hallway. Looking scary as fuck.
She's real, bitch.
What would
And
you do?
I'm here.
I would pack up and
I'd be
leave.
like, nope.
I'd pack up and motherfucking leave.
I was just talking about how like their house is like one of my like dream houses because I just love like mid-century modern, also like retro decor, and I just love like wood paneling, like 3-level houses. But
You would be out.
I'm fucking out, dude. I'm out.
Burn it down.
Bye.
But so the nun goes into the office space, and she tells her daughter, like, wait here, I'm gonna go. So she goes into the office, gets locked into the office, and she sees in that fucking motherfucking stupid ass painting is hanging up, and it's scary.
It's scary.
And then this record starts playing out of nowhere, and it's very loud, very scary, and it's like choral music, and it's a
Christmas song, yeah.
It's
glory to the newborn king.
but it's like choral, so it's
Yeah.
scary and loud. And she's stuck in that room, and all the lights go out, and she's looking at this painting, and then all of a sudden there's hands that come out behind the painting, and it fucking runs towards her, and she's like screaming. I think at some point she's screaming at the nun, right?
It's like,
Yeah.
tell me your name.
Who's
Yeah,
your
well,
name?
it like hurls her into another dimension.
Yeah, no, so yeah, it knocks her over, and she's back at that first scene where she's having the vision of Ed dying, and she's
She's seen this at least
Yeah.
twice before. Now
Yeah,
this is the third time.
this is like the basement scene, and it's twice the second
The
time?
first time
The
was
first time
she'd
was-
seen it in the first movie because she's like, I'd seen it before, and then like the second time she'd seen it at the beginning of this movie, and then this is the third time she's in that same area witnessing it again.
Yeah, and it's him dying, and she's in this basement, which I think is the Amityville house. She's still in the basement of the Amityville house, and she's screaming at the nun, who's yelling back at her, but just like growling, I guess. And she's like, what's your name? Tell me your name.
It's Tony.
It's Tony.
But-
Fuck you.
But yeah, and then flashes to what's actually happening, and she's having a vision. She's like carving into her Bible, like
With a pencil.
with a pencil, just carving shit, very fast, flipping pages, carving. And her daughter's like, Mom,
Ma.
like, what's happening? Ma, what's going on? And she wakes up, and she hugs her daughter, and she's obviously very, very scared and frazzled. But I guess the thing to add to that, and I took a picture of it because it was before you guys realized.
You seen it.
Because I knew this like after watching it the first time. So James Wan is fantastic. We love him, and they actually hid the name of the demon. Actually, I think we should save this for the end.
What?
No, let's do it now.
When it's revealed.
No, let's do it now.
Okay. Well,
Why not?
so the name of the demon is hidden throughout the whole movie. So like the scene where he's like,
Oh, there's other scenes where
yeah,
it's hidden?
he's like, I was
The
painting-
kitchen was the first scene that I saw.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I was painting this painting, and it's so crazy. Like, that whole scene. If you look in the back room, there's letters, but some of it was missing, because we didn't learn their name yet.
Right.
But the part where she gets up when she knows her daughter's missing, this is in the background. And as you can see, it spells out.
Yep, it
name.
sure does. Yep. Bam, bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam,
But
bam.
we'll
You s-
reveal the name when it's
You
revealed.
see
but I'll send it to you.
all the hidden Mickeys in the screenshot that Sky took.
Exactly.
All the hidden...
And then in the kitchen was when this was before this scene I think happened.
I saw it too, but
There-
the first letter is missing. in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kitchen.
You can see it, but in a different area.
Is it on the other
It's
side?
not apparent.
I might have to watch it
I
again.
know.
Because I
Oh my
saw
God.
Wow.
the rest of the name, but the first letter, and I was like, so it was hidden throughout
And
all the scenes.
Antonio was like, "What does AK mean?" And I'm like, and then Sky's like, "Shut
Yeah,
up.
you guys were like,
Shut up.
and I was like, shh, 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 shh.
Let him, let him."
Whoa, I feel like I noticed like when she was sitting there, like those letters in the back. I feel like I was like, is that a name? But I just completely was like, meh.
I just kept seeing A and K, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
And then I honestly have not watched this movie a ton, or any of the other ones a ton, so I just didn't exactly piece together what it was, but as we went on, I was like, oh, that's the name.
Yep. But yeah, we will save the actual name for when it's actually revealed.
Hey, I have a question. I forgot to ask this, and me asking you what you would do if the nun was around right next to you. At some point, they take out a little Ouija board. And I have been in situations where, like, somebody has been like, oh, we should get a Ouija board for this party, and I have dissuaded them from it. What would you guys do if someone tried to pull it out at a get-together? Go on.
I'd leave.
All right.
Listen, they said this in the movie too, like, demons like to attach themselves to, like, hard, like, what's the word?
Emotional people who are down.
Like,
Me.
like, bad emotions, weak people.
Me.
People that are, like, down, like, bad times.
Downtrodden.
Right? Like, really depressed people and shit. Listen, I got enough of that going on in my life. I don't need a demon attached to that, so I would peace out so fast. I would peace out. I would literally Naruto run from that party. Like, no.
Dahlia, would you partook?
Absolutely not. Actually, I was working at Hot Topic one day. I was closing with a manager, and
I know this. I've heard
Yeah.
this story.
yeah, like, so some coworkers came in after hours. They weren't supposed to be there, but we did it anyway. They were just sitting in the
cares?
back room, and they pulled out the Ouija board and were just doing stuff. And I was like, yo, I'm seriously not gonna fucking partake in this. I'm like, but if you do use it, please say goodbye. And I'm like, and I'm just gonna stay away from this because I don't want to partake in it. So, like, please don't make me a part of it. And I don't like that shit. I like spooky stuff, and I like, you know, the kitschy, like, retro and, like, very funny comedic but dark stuff of, like, Halloween and, like, spookiness, but I just don't fuck with that shit. Spirit boards, Ouija boards, I ain't about it. Even the fucking, like, kawaii ass Ouija boards that you probably seen on the internet.
Oh my god,
I ain't gonna
want
do
one.
it. I ain't gonna do it.
No, Antonio.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of opening up a doorway to something else.
That we don't understand.
I'm good.
I'm
good fan.
skeptical, so I'm all about it. I would partake.
I knew it.
I'm
Alright.
skeptical of that, like, actually doing anything. There are worse things happening in the world than being haunted.
Bye,
You know what's
Antonio.
funny? I will back that up though, because you remember how I told you I found a cockroach in my bathroom?
Yeah.
This big ass cockroach. I was like, I'd rather my house be haunted than infested with cockroach. I was like, I'd rather my house be haunted. I'd rather be
See?
dealing with a demon than a cockroach.
Then cockroaches.
Than cockroaches.
One is okay.
cockroach I can kill because I did.
I can handle one. Once there's two, then I know there's a bigger
Oh,
problem.
it's a bigger
Yeah, I was
problem.
like,
it is. Or they're
guys.
little. Then, you know, it's a problem. Wait, Antonio.
Yeah. No, he was fucking huge. He was trying to kidnap.
Eat your dog.
He was trying to kidnap Gilly.
Fucking Men in Black up in here.
But so yeah, I was like, worst problems? Yeah, I would rather have my house be haunted than deal with
Than being haunted. And honestly, I mean, I guess if you follow the rules, even if that was the thing that really happens, then, you know, like Dahlia said, say goodbye. Say goodnight, Gracie, and move forward. Just don't be stupid.
How long?
Even if that's like a thing.
How far does your skepticism go? Do you believe in ghosts, Antonio?
Like, as in, like, actual thinking, like haunting
spirits.
places or
Not
anything?
maybe
Spirits?
not.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Not thinking, but like something lingering. You know what I mean?
like vibes. Do people leave vibes when they die?
Bad. Do all the bad vibes you have like in life? Do you leave it behind when you go?
I think vibes are a thing, maybe energy, but I'm not thinking like, you know, oh, this person haunted us because they were killed, blah 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 blah, or like they possess people or anything like that. But bad
No,
vibes
What
do
about
linger.
what about nice
I would
ghosts?
agree with that.
Well,
Yeah.
I think if you were to say, like, you know, bad vibes, like if there was like a brutal ass murder that had so much passion and energy into it, I do think it lingers.
I think that lingers just in the air and people act on that kind
I
of like.
don't think it acts. I think
They
lingers.
like feel it and then they act on that and that's it. But I don't think it's like
That's like a
possessive
ghosting.
or demonic
I also
or even, you
feel-
know, to go as far as like religious.
Yeah, and that's like, I guess the problem I had with like the movie I saw yesterday, The Conjuring 3. I was like, this is very like I said, very 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 loosely based on a true story, because I feel like a lot of exorcisms and shit were like done on mentally ill people. It was like, it's mental illness, ain't it? Like, it's
Yeah.
all about mental illness. Like, in the end, it was just a good cover up, like an easy, like, oh, quick fix, it's get the demon out of them.
Yeah.
When they were mentally ill. So I think, like, I don't know. It's a complicated conversation,
It is.
I think, to have. But I do think it is, like, it doesn't have to be religious.
It doesn't.
I think that's, like, where these movies come from, because Ed and Lorraine were religious. I read their book. They have a book. I think it's
right,
called,
they were part of the church. They said that in the movie too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's called, like, The Demonologist or something. I read the book. I bought it. I read it because, obviously, I mean, I was gonna. And I read it, and it was good. But I do think it's very based off of, like, religious feelings. And I don't think it always has to be that.
No, not at all. Especially, like, the good or bad hauntings, quote-unquote, or vibes. I don't think any of that has to do with religion. More so just... I think you can separate spirituality from religion. I feel like all of us at some point have had to in this room.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's a hard thing for other people to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I feel like that's why these movies are so popular, because people are so, like,
Yeah,
scared
they're
of
like,
this
what
good
if,
versus
like,
evil, like,
what is
sort
that?
of thing.
What is the explanation? Like, I need a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting.
So I think
But-
that's why these are so popular.
Yeah.
And also could just they're just scary.
They are just
I mean,
good, like,
They're
jump
scary and
scares.
they're good. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that's
Antonio-
also, I think, why people resonate with these movies so much.
like Antonio and I were hiding under the covers basically while we were watching like that whole nun scene happen. We're
Yeah,
like,
because there
nope,
was
nope.
the shadow was moving along the wall, and then
It was
across-
scary!
It was
That-
so
it's
stupid.
disturbing.
Watching it without the sound, you're probably like, "Oh, there's a shadow going along the
But
wall."
the
It's like,
music, too.
oh, I can't handle this.
Because it also, like, these
master
movies are very
storytelling.
good. They're very good at, like, because even watching the other one yesterday, like, when it was quiet, I was like, oh, fucking God, oh, geez. But when there was music, I was like, okay, we're good.
I will say this about the music though. When the "Glory to the Newborn King" was playing, every time that played, I legitimately go to "You Can't Always Get What You Want" from the Rolling Stones.
Oh, yeah, because you were playing it during
was
that, and I was like,
playing
I
it
cannot
dur-
hear it.
There's no different. No
sounds the
difference
same.
if you play them sound by or like next to each other. It's hard to discern a difference between those two like openings.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know. Rip to y'all, but I know you guys are
I'm
like,
different.
yeah, you guys are like, well, if you were watching it alone, be scared. I've never seen a horror movie alone ever because I'm a scaredy cat. But I just think jump scares just don't get me anymore. I do really like the craft. It is a well-crafted horror movie. I appreciate good craft moves. I just don't really get scared by jump scares anymore. But it's fun. I find them fun versus scary.
They're fun, and that's what's gonna sell. That's always what's gonna sell, because that's another fucking reason why these movies do so well, is because of the jump scares. Because I remember watching, like, and this isn't really a horror movie, but like Crimson Peak was marketed as a horror movie, and it didn't.
It's not.
Really didn't have it. It wasn't a horror movie, and
Not
it
to
didn't.
me.
First off, I love that movie. We're not going to go into that
I
tangent.
love that movie.
Every
too.
time I
love
try to
it.
watch it, I fall asleep.
Yeah, because you're an asshole.
It's such a good
Anyway,
movie.
It's such a beautiful. I'm
It
not
is a
even going
beautiful
to go into.
I
I'm not
will
even
sit
gonna go
down
into it, 'cause
and
I
watch
will
it at
literally go
some
on a
point this
tangent
week.
about
As a
it.
person who has seen it and was horrified by it because I saw it in the theaters with Sky when it came out. Yes,
did.
you
I
remember.
forgot
You
about that.
remember? Yeah, you remember.
But it was marketed as a horror movie. It had horror elements to it, but it had generally no jump scares to it at all. And everyone was fucking like, this wasn't scary at all, blah 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 blah, like the general public. And it is true. Like, people respond better to jump scares because it gives them that, like, jump of
Makes them feel a
adrenaline.
thing.
It makes them feel alive. Like, and that's like the thing that's gonna sell. That's always gonna sell, because like the Conjuring movies, the Insidious movies,
Yeah, no, they're fun. The jump scares
any
are
of
fun.
them.
You get
and they're fun.
you get the adrenaline. I always love a good jump scare. I do. I just am never scared by them anymore. So I feel like
And
now
that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm chasing the next high.
Rip to
like-
you guys, but I'm different.
Yeah,
No.
I know, because literally me and my mom were having this conversation because after the movie, she was like, "Oh, did you like it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was good." I was like, "It wasn't as scary like as the other ones." And she's like, "Oh, you're just getting immune to it
Yeah.
because you're getting older." And I'm like, well, Antonio said he's getting older and he gets more scared by them, and I'm not getting scared by them.
Me
so I don't
too.
know how exactly
Every
that
day I
works.
become more of a middle-aged lady.
Yeah, I'm not a scary movie watcher, so obviously it's scary to me because I'm like, nope, I'm not prepared for this.
So you have to. It's like we get scared in different ways.
Yeah, I feel like
And I think that's the thing too. Like, everyone gets scared by different things.
Yeah, I feel like you and I have both kind of become immune to the jump scares. Like, for me, like, I keep trying to get you guys to watch this. The creepiest movie I've seen recently has been Possum. And there's some jump scares, but it's something about ambiance, and I think that's what gets you and me both, Sky. It's like, ambiance
And
is
that's
just,
why
like,
I'm like,
creepy
we
images.
can put that off.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with these like Conjuring movies and like the other ones like similar to this, it appeals to all audiences just because of the jump scares, and
It's a popular
it also
horror
appears
movie.
in well, yeah, also the exposition, you know, and there's a good story behind it because it's based on a true story. So I feel like it gets people in many different ways, and it just kind of like accumulates all into this one movie.
That's why I think Hereditary did so well.
So
is it just
good.
had everything.
That had
It
horror.
had not just like, it had ambiance, it had jump scares. There were still jump scares for people that were looking for
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
scares,
When
but it
I-
also had like cinematography.
That's
Hereditary
Possum.
had
Y'all gotta watch
everything.
Possum.
When I heard about Hereditary,
If I watch Possum and I don't like it, I will tell you to your face that I was
Go
like,
for
"Eh,
it.
was
Listen,
okay."
go for it. Go for it. I love
well,
it.
but the problem, and also, okay, and this is another thing too, why these movies do so good. It's so hard for people to keep the attention, because I feel like Possum and Hereditary, they're like,
You have
for,
to pay
like,
attention.
a certain
Yeah.
subgroup of people that like love these type of movies, but the average moviegoer will not sit through them. They'll
No,
get bored.
they'll get
Whereas,
We're
like,
getting
these
our
movies,
9th Fast
it's
and
like-
Furious film
it's-
soon.
It's the Conjuring movies is Fast and Furious for
horror.
movies, like regular
Oh my
ass
God.
horror
Hot
movies.
Here's
take.
the other
Hot
thing.
take.
No, here's the other thing, and
Wow.
I will say this about this movie. I kept waiting for the scene where the little boy who bullies Janet in the beginning to get a slingshot shot into his face. That's not this movie at all.
The wrong movie, bro.
All of these movies, like between Ouija, Origin of Evil, which is that one, I finally figured it out. The Annabelle movies, Conjuring, Insidious is a little bit different because you remember everything about
Insidious is
Insidious.
That's
good.
a whole different like.
And it's
plot.
Sinister is a different plot entirely too. But all of these like haunting, demonic possession movies, they all kind of like they have the same mouth taste.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's easy for once again the average moviegoer to swallow
right?
and
Exactly.
to take
Yeah.
in.
It's
and
the
that's
pizza.
why
It's the pizza and Fast and Furious of horror.
that's a hot take. When you said that, oh my god.
I would also just like to finish off with Hereditary as a person who doesn't watch horror films. I've been drinking.
It's okay.
That it is actually a very good movie, and in all aspects. And I can say that it was probably the best like horror movie, scary movie
Yep.
film that I've ever seen.
Yep.
Like like hands down. Like nobody else can beat it because I'm still thinking about it to this day. And I almost want to watch it again, but I'm so scared.
I think because that one specifically, I think dealt with a lot of things people could relate to, which is family drama.
Yeah, I love
It's
films
things
about
you
trauma.
Don't want to face.
family trauma.
The best horror
Family
is trauma.
Not to go into it too deep, but
But yeah,
it's very, very like well thought out,
Yeah, all the
beautifully
good
executed.
all the good horror films, or like my version of like really the ones that really stuck with me. All the horror films that have stuck with me recently are all about like trauma of a deeper type, emotional, family, relationship, and fucking love that. But you're right. But that's not for your
But-
average horror moviegoer.
because I think a lot of people that like want to go see horror movies and stuff, because we're so like you said, we're so used to like the jump scares and the
Because we've
Wow,
always
boo.
watched horror.
because we've always watched horror, we're so used to it that it's easy to watch that, whereas like these movies deal with so much heavy stuff, it's
Mhm.
a lot more fun to watch, and like we get like more of a
Got
I
it.
guess jump scare
Yeah.
to it, you know.
It's
Whereas like
creeping.
the average moviegoer just wants the jump scare, they just want the adrenaline rush, you know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So woof, okay. Back to the movie.
Back to the
That was
movie.
a whole ass
Good tangent.
Right? So we had left off with me and Dahlia screaming during the nun scene. And what exactly makes us, enjoy movies. After that happens, though, the Newsies have caught the story. The Newsies. Sorry, the
With
media has
Christian-
officially
with
caught...
Christian Bale.
That was like that was my actual notes. I said Newsies.
Yeah, actual
Sorry.
notes say Newsies. So the media has caught wind of the story, and now they're trying to like capitalize on it, sell paper, sell content, forward. But the church has also seen this. So in order to try to get in without getting part of the media circus, they unofficially invite the Warrens to Enfield House.
Going to Britain.
And that's when,
The Warrens go to
We're
Britain.
going to Britain.
they go to Britain, even though Lorraine had said, like, I don't want to do this anymore, and like I've seen you die. I don't want to do this. But he's like, we're not gonna do. We just a little bit, just the tip,
No,
right?
Don't worry,
And
baby girl.
Yeah, we're gonna go. It's fine to investigate, just to give them their professional opinion, right? So they do. They go to Britain. So they go to London, try to help, and kind of get a gist of what the fuck is happening. And they end up having this thing where Janet, who is the possessed child in this case, they all sit around. Janet's sitting in the chair that's haunted, puts water in her mouth to show that she's not faking it, that the voice that she's talking with isn't hers, is coming from somewhere else. So she puts water in her mouth, and they end up interviewing the poltergeist, I guess, and his name's Bill. And he says he needs help letting go, but something's holding him back.
And it's very like riddly. You don't really understand it, and he's like, I need help basically, but you can't really tell at the time. And then their backs are also turned at this time. So she's like, he just says he doesn't want to talk to you unless without the water in the mouth or something. So then they decide to turn around, and they hear all this voice happening behind them as they're interviewing, and then we see on screen that physically Janet starts turning into Bill. And like the whole progression is like wild. At some point Antonio was like, when did that happen? Like,
I don't pay attention.
it was like such a slight progression, but then she turns back into herself. And so
Did we say
at
Bill's
the
the
end
old
of
guy?
it all-
Bill's the old guy. I don't know if we said that.
He's the poltergeist.
he's a poltergeist.
That's what I said.
Yeah, and so she spits out the water, and it's like, okay, so she was not talking. She had the water in her mouth the whole time. But again, their backs were turned, so.
Yeah, and
So she could have like covertly spit it out and then put some back in her mouth after she was done doing her little act, according to some people.
Impressions.
Right.
and Bill actually was an old man who died in that chair in that house, 72 years old, he was blind and he had a brain hemorrhage. So
They
his
fact checked it.
Yeah.
That was true.
Also to note, they're staying at the neighbor's house across the street, and weird stuff is happening there too. Like, there's one night where the dog, the neighbor's dog, he knows how to use the bell when he has to go outside. So cute.
Ding, ding, ding.
And it's the middle of the night, probably 3:00. He's dinging the bell, and
Ding, ding, ding.
the tiniest boy goes to see what's going on, and the dog ends up turning into the fucking Crooked Man.
Which the visual, I cannot like describe enough. This visual of the dog turning into this full being was wild.
I could not.
I
I would have been the SpongeBob meme.
That's like the
All right,
stop
guys,
motion.
I gotta head out.
That's the stop motion nightmare of my.
It was
of my nightmares.
Yeah. It was very claymation, as Antonio said at some point. It was wild.
That's the best way to describe it.
It is.
It just
That
had
is a
like
good
the
one.
style of like those holiday movies, or like
Okay, but I do love those holiday movies.
yeah. Could you imagine a whole like
But in a scary sense?
in a scary
Dude,
sense?
could
Like
you-
Coraline's the closest thing I can
Yeah,
think
yeah,
of
yeah.
that's
Ooh,
close
yeah.
to it. But like those holiday movies, if there was an actual like horror movie like that.
Oh, I have
But-
so much to say about Coraline, but okay.
So I do too. I love that movie. But the thing I had said in the beginning of the movie that I was like, oh, this, and this is in the universe. So the Crooked Man is actually going to be a movie. They're going to make that a part of the
Oh,
universe as well.
she.
I hate that.
The Crooked Man will return in October of 2022.
Okay. But also, just to give us some tidbits about the Crooked Man. So initially, when we'd seen this like Crooked Man come in, throughout the movie, it's a children's toy. It's one of those old school children's toys where it works with a light, and there's
Rotoscoping.
is that what it's called?
I think it's rotoscoping.
So like there's a series of images, right? And as you spin this like contraption, the images seem to be moving, and he's performing an action, which is just walking basically. But he's a crooked looking man, and he looks kind of spooky. And
He kind of looks like Jack Skellington.
A little bit,
Mhm.
yeah. And so this music is playing. It's like some sort of
It's a song.
nursery
It's
rhyme.
actually, because I looked it up, it's an actual thing. Like, it's an actual, like, nursery rhyme.
Yeah,
of some
so it's like, totally not, what's the word, like you wouldn't think it's like scary, but of course it can become scary because most nursery rhymes come from like, lessons in life. So yeah, that was pretty spooky. We saw that the youngest boy who had encountered the crooked man in the house, that was his toy, and it's fucking scary. Like that whole, I can't deal with it.
A whole bunch of stuff happens, and it ends up being, because it's all recorded, and it ends up being made to where Janet has been making all of this up. Like, she's throwing, like, dishes were thrown around and stuff, and there's a video recorded showing that she was actually
Right, like they were trying to like
doing
say,
everything.
hey, this is real, but they got video footage that it was like totally fake, and that was something that was really fucked up because there was a person actually trying to debunk it all. So that was pretty fucked up.
There's this really nice moment where I will read this word for word. Then Sweater Daddy Patrick Wilson plays Elvis on the guitar, and we all melted.
This is okay.
Because he plays for the family.
That
Because
is
it's a
a
really hard
factual
time.
statement.
Everyone's really sad and
Right.
down in the dumps, and he pulls out a guitar and starts playing Elvis, which is one of my favorite Elvis songs. Is "Can't Help Falling in Love with You." It was a
Daddy
really
didn't
nice
love
moment.
me because remember Daddy walked out and he took all his records with him, but left us his guitar. Daddy didn't love me. That's Austin Powers. Anyway.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
But all this, like, to be honest, like, all this could have been cheesy, but, like, the acting is pretty good in this movie, and it just seems so earnest, and I legitimately was so touched and enamored by this moment. Patrick Wilson. None of this is cheesy, like, the acting is top-notch, TBH.
Mm-hmm.
Props.
100%.
The other thing about that scene was, like, I kept waiting for, like, there to be a jump scare or something to, like, go wrong. Was the guitar string going to snap and he was going to bleed or something like that. A lot of, like, things in this movie I kept thinking was like, oh, this is going to go one way. Nope, goes the other way. Which I didn't
Nope.
remember until I was watching this movie.
I don't think you watched this film.
The wholesome moment.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, I'm like, did you see this movie?
I definitely saw this movie.
You saw this at one
I
point.
definitely saw this movie at
Okay.
one point.
It's just the first one where, like, did
I'm
you know
pretty
that?
sure I watched it because that's the one where the clapping comes from.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
then you have
I've
seen
definitely
that at
seen
some
it,
point.
but did I pay attention?
Nar.
I've definitely seen it.
I've never seen it.
All right. But anyway, so that was a really nice moment. But then after the whole, her, Janet seeming to be a fake, the Warrens end up leaving or like on their way to leave.
And so they realize, oh shit, we gotta go back. We gotta go help them. Because it turns out that the old man was like, help
On
me.
two separate recordings.
Yes,
they
was
put it together.
It was so wild because I don't know, they fell on the ground, they made an X, and he's like, should I play them together? And so he does. And he figures it out. It's like, help, it won't let me go. So they go back to the house, they're racing there. Some fucking crazy shit happens. Ed ends up getting locked into the basement, and Lorraine cannot follow. And she knows that if he goes in there, he's probably gonna die. And the whole thing is like scary. It's raining. They get a hatchet. They're trying to break down the door as much as they can. Ed goes in. He gets like steam blasted in the face because in Europe they have radiators. So the radiator steam hit him in the eyes and he was practically blinded.
And
He's
in
just
the
trying to
East
help this
Coast,
little girl.
just saying.
Oh yes, thank you. Very New Englandy. So it's like practically Europe.
Radiators.
And so he's just trying to help this little girl because she's in fucking trouble. And like crazily, he gets there and he like catches her. So like she basically breaks the window with her like supernatural powers. And we see that as they returned, some lightning hit a tree and it splintered it off and it made like a fucking spike. And it was scary. And so we're all like, oh fuck, that's where he's gonna get impaled. And like it was so scary. But yeah, like they go there and Ed catches Janet, who's still kind of like in her possessed state, out the window, and he's hanging onto this curtain, and it's like going like
Breaking one by one. Like
One by
just
one.
slowly, but like fast enough to where we're like, ah!
And Lorraine, like, she makes it into the house. She runs up the stairs. She tries to get him, but she's, like, knocked back by the demon. The nun is here in the room.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The nun.
Also, I do want to shout out fucking Bonnie Aarons is the actress of the nun. She's fucking amazing because I follow her on Instagram and stuff, and she's such a wonderful person. Like, I love her. Like, she's fantastic.
Go follow her.
Yeah, so go follow her. But she's fantastic, and she does a fucking phenomenal job as the nun. Very, very scary, very spooky, very scary. But yeah, so the nun's there, and Lorraine is trying to figure out how to defeat the nun as she's like plastered up against the wall, and she figures it out. Like, I asked you your name, and you told it to me. And she figured it out. Actually, no, she figured that out beforehand.
Yeah.
She had figured out beforehand the nun's name because she grabbed her Bible where she was scribbling. She was carving into it.
Turns out.
It was
Figured
Tony.
out the nun's
She
name.
had it the whole time.
And it was Tony.
And
What's your name?
Tony. Tony the nun.
but in I guess the lore, I would say once you have the name of the demon, you kind of have more
Power over them.
You have power over them. So she knew the name as she grabbed her Bible, and it was Valak, and she end up fucking destroying that motherfucker.
It's like, I banish you to hell. Get the fuck
Binge.
out. And so
Now with the reveal of the name Valak, can you tell me what the other scenes we should be looking for with
The other hidden
names?
Mickeys.
okay.
Yeah.
The kitchen when they're having breakfast, for sure. It was twice.
After she sees the painting,
on one side,
it says
Is it?
Alec. It doesn't say the V.
there's like a message that says love, and the V is bigger than all the other letters.
So then that's because the other side when you're looking at, I think it's
It also
Lorraine.
says-
It says Alec,
yeah, and I don't know what the V
ALAK.
is.
and the
on
V is
that
missing.
one.
So the kitchen.
But when you're facing Lorraine, you see the big V. But when you're facing Ed, you can't see the V. At least I can't distinguish that at this moment.
But anyway, so the first like tidbit hidden is in the scene where he first shows her the painting and she goes into the kitchen and they're having breakfast. And then the second scene, which I took a screenshot of, is when she's in the, I guess, reading room / library with her daughter. It's on the bookshelf. It's like V on the top shelf, A on the bottom shelf, L on the top shelf, A on the bottom shelf, and then K.
B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
So it's all like, but you can see it clearly. But yeah, those are little hidden tidbits they did.
Oh, I think...
Is there more?
Screen Rant has The Conjuring 2, every time Valak's name was teased in the background. It shows you pictures, so, like, I think that helps. I'm not going to look through the whole thing, because then I'm not going to, like, fuck it up, but at least I see it there in a different place that I'd seen it before. Like, on the bracelet.
Oh, and yeah, the bracelet the daughter was making,
Mhm.
the, like, little friendship bracelet she was making.
So there were several different places, but, you know... You gotta watch the movie to find out.
But yeah, but it was teased beforehand, but we do know Valak was the name of the nun. Lorraine says it, you know, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit banish you to hell. Banishes it to hell. That's taken care of. She's I guess released of whatever she was against the wall, and she ends up going to grab Ed just as he's about to fall over with Janet. She saves them.
She saves them from being impaled. Look at her. He
Also,
was like,
can I say that it's great that she saves the day?
Yes, bitch.
He was like, I know that you're seeing that I'm gonna die, but maybe it's you that's gonna prevent it. And I was
And
like,
she motherfucking
I'm
does.
holding
you
up for
fucking
a
have-
hero. Sorry.
half glass full type of shit. I'm just like, that ain't me, but okay.
I think the one thing too I wrote too on this, like, that I like about these movies, because it continues with the third one as well, like Ed and Lorraine's like love through these movies is so powerful, and I think it's really
Power of
nice to
love.
see the power of love, and I think it's really nice to see, and it's so like I think you said earnest, like it's so nice. I don't know, it's just it's not cheesy, it's just really nice. It comes across really nice.
They're a team. They're together.
Yeah,
We love love.
I love
I
love,
love
dude.
love.
I love rom-coms.
Love is love.
But yeah, Lorraine saves them. It's over. It's done. Everyone's saved. And then
Yeah.
Then Nick
that's,
Fury
like,
comes
pretty
out.
Much,
And then Nick Fury comes out and says, I want you to be part of the Avengers Initiative, bitch.
Yes, the fucking
He-
Warrens in the Avengers. Can you believe?
look. Just so everybody knows, that doesn't happen. The end of the movie
No,
happens
it
that
did.
Ed gives his
No.
cross. He gives his cross to the little girl, and she's like, I'm thankful that you had one person to help you with your troubles, but now I have two. And it was very heartwarming. And then they just end the movie, I think similarly to how they ended the first one. And Sky mentioned that they ended the third one in the same way, where you see photographs from the actual encounters that had happened at the time. So it's very interesting. You hear like actual recordings, and it was really cool. I think it was a good way to end a movie.
Yeah, it was awesome. And that's The Conjuring 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Hotcast.
Okay.
Podcast.
Hotcast, baby.
Agree. I am so sorry, but for English people, yeah, Hogcast.
For
but
English
also the-
people.
Look,
You coulda
sometimes
just
there'd
said
be
Hogcast.
not cute English people, but they casted very good-looking people.
I guess, if Ed and Lorraine came up to you guys and was like, hey, I like your vibe. Would you guys say yeah?
If it was Patrick Wilson, yeah, and Vera
Yeah,
Farmiga,
no,
yeah.
them. I'm not talking about the real life, because I'm not talking
They're,
about real
they're
life.
not as cute, okay, and that's just the way. That's just
Well,
the way
also,
that
okay.
Hollywood is. It's just
It's
the way that
Hollywood,
is,
baby.
okay.
That's the thing too, because obviously Ed and Lorraine Warren, in real life, they're, I wouldn't say problematic, but they were proven fake a couple times. So like I said, these movies are very, 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 very,
Very loosely based.
on these true stories. So, but as far as Patrick Wilson and Vera,
If they came up
What
to
is
me,
it, Farmiga?
Farmiga.
beautiful. If
Yeah.
they came up to me and were like, "I like your vibe," I'd be like, "I like your guys' vibe too."
You want to be my unicorn?
I'd be like, "Yeah."
I will say this,
like,
just
you can call
for
me
a
Valak.
cameo.
I'm all yours.
The guy that they casted for the Amityville house at the beginning, he was cute.
Okay,
The killer.
can I say one thing really quick? Because I thought this and I was like, I shouldn't think this. But in the third one, the guy who is the devil made me do it, blah blah blah, kid, I was like, he's kind of cute.
Oh my god!
And I was like, I hate that this movie is making me think that.
Oh my
my
god.
God.
Y'all gay.
Wow!
I don't know what else to say.
Anyway, good soundtrack.
And score. I mean, it kind of just is
It
pretty
set the
par
tone.
for the core.
It kept me on the edge of my seat. So yes, the music was doing its job.
I think so all the movies James Wan has done, the sound, the score for it, fantastic. Because the one vinyl I really want that I do not have, and I should have bought it when I saw it because it was cheap when I bought it because now it's really expensive, is the Insidious soundtrack.
Oh my
Because that hard opening
That's-
for the beginning with
Yeah.
the violins is so good, and every time I hear it, I just love it so much, and I'm so sad. But that Saw has
It's
a
good.
really unique theme that when you hear it,
You know
Saw.
it's Saw.
whereas this
I've
too,
never
the
seen any of
beginning
those movies.
where it's the this happened, blah 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 blah, and then it's the Conjuring title
Yeah,
card.
I love that opening too.
It's the same for every movie, and you're just like oof, ooh, you get goosebumps,
yeah, I love.
So I think it's a good I think it's
score.
a good score.
I do like the reusage also of the Newborn King song for the choral one that they played every time Valak was on screen. It would just play from some old timey record or
Yeah.
radio player, and I did think that was also really cool that they used that for that.
It was eerie and also played to, I don't even know why it was playing because it could have been before it was Christmas because they arrived at London near Christmas.
Well, yeah, because they had Christmas trees in there,
But
On the
not at the
kitchen?
Warrens, right?
no, at the Warrens' house they had Christmas trees on the wall, and then at the very end when they're dancing to the Elvis song, there's a Christmas tree.
Interesting. Okay.
So
I
maybe
mean,
this was a Christmas movie.
for the time, yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh
Is this
my
a Christmas movie?
god.
Am I gonna have to watch this during Christmas?
Oh my god. Okay.
New
how
vibes to be unlocked.
How
New
do you
vibes.
feel about the costume design and the set design and location?
Surprisingly
I
fabulous.
love the costume
I'm a big
design.
fucking fan. I'm a big fucking fan of the whole set design and location. I loved everything about it. Even the whole rickety ass house of the Hodgsons. I love
Hodgson's.
I love their house. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
oh my god.
Even the
so
Warrens'
good.
house too. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't even talk about the Warrens' house without crying a little bit.
So
But,
the
okay.
costume design, because I had to Google it, because we kept talking about everything from the pajamas that were featured in the movie to the coats,
The sweaters.
and then the number of sweaters. So her name was Kristen Burke, and so it looks like she worked for both season 1 and 2 of Sleepy Hollow, Insidious 1 and 2, and the first Conjuring movie as well.
But would you recommend it? Not Insidious. Would you take all this storylines and movies are similar veins, similar directors and stuff, similar styles. Would you recommend this movie to other people?
This one
Yeah,
in particular?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Conjuring 2?
Yeah, I think
it's so fucking good.
I think it's a really good, it's like every other horror movie. If you like horror movies, then you're probably going to like this one.
But most importantly, as our loser, Ketzel, would you recommend this to other losers who have not seen this movie?
My answer is faceted. If you like horror movies, yeah, watch it. We love horror movies. I had a good time watching it. I always have a good time with horror movies, and this is good. I'm a person that has a good time with bad horror movies. The acting in this is solid. It's not cheesy, it's not corny. It's good. The plot is not groundbreaking to say at all, but it's a popular horror movie, like we talked about. It's a pizza. Everyone likes pizza. Do I think I couldn't have lived without watching this? Nah, I think it would have been fine. I enjoyed it, but it's it's
You'd need someone to go with you if you were going to watch it. You'd be the person to go with someone to go watch it as opposed to going to watch it without anyone. You're Sky, whereas Sky's mom is Sky's mom.
I love my mom.
I love your mom.
I also
honestly,
love your mom.
any horror movie, I usually do go. If I'm not going with you, Antonio, it's my mom. I'm either going with my mom or I'm going with Antonio.
Yeah, to me,
and
to me and all my horror friends and my mother-in-law, Sky's mom. Yes, to any horror movie fan, yeah, go fucking watch it. But if it's not your thing, again, it's not a groundbreaking film, so you can also, it's not. I think it'll be fine, but to us, it's always a good time.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Sit Down Loser. We're watching a movie. We'll see you next time.
Bye, losers.
Oh, we had heard a nursery rhyme because we were finding out more about Bill. And he starts whistling the Barney song, but it turns out it's a different song.
This old
and
man.
we're all
debunked.
Is it public domain? We could probably sing it.
Is it a nursery rhyme?
I think a nursing rhyme would definitely be public domain.
All right. Well, we won't push it. But
this old man. There we go.
Oh yeah.
No.
I said the whole thing. That was because you said the last part of it, and I was like, "Oh, that does sound familiar. Why can't I think of the rest of the lyrics?" And
no,
you started it, and then I finished it very hard.
Came in
Go
hard.
off.
But oh, can I say a quick note? I did write this down because I know you really like Insidious. I think we all like Insidious.
Yes, I love
here.
Insidious.
I love the Insidious.
Oh yeah, I love Insidious.
I do too. That was my favorite horror movie for a very long time. Was the first one. Insidious 5 is happening, and Patrick Wilson is directing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
his
can't
first.
wait to watch
I haven't
it.
seen the
His
fourth one
debut.
yet.
Fourth one was good.
The fourth one is good.
I
They're
don't
good
think I've seen
sequels.
it.
The third one is my favorite Insidious.
That was the prequel.
I gotta
Yeah,
watch
it's
them
the
again.
prequel
I gotta
with-
watch
I
them
think
again.
both.
I want to
Third and
rewatch
fourth
it.
one were prequels.
I gotta watch
Yeah,
them
the third one
But
was
the third one
girl.
was so. I remember
Oof.
we saw that in theaters and we were both
Stop
like,
it, you guys.
The third one was so good.
Insidious. Out of all the big horror movie franchises, I think Insidious is mine. Whereas Sinister is
consistent.
Skies.
What'd you say?
Sinister is Skies.
It is now. Before it was Insidious because it was so consistent. But I love Sinister so much. And the first one, as much as y'all clown on the second one, the first
It's so good.
Sinister,
I will never get over the
So
first
good.
Sinister. Nope.
so good and so impactful. So
It is.
impactful.
But the
That's like
Insidious-
actually, it's less a jump scary horror. It's more along.
no,
those
it
lines.
just it's the imagery
There's
sticks with you.
so much
the
dread.
Insidious franchise is always gonna be my favorite because
No,
it
it's good.
always that was the first like set of films that really left me like thought provoking in the middle of the night searching for videos and like summaries, and I would scare myself almost to the point where I couldn't go to sleep.
I'm still looking for like world building in Insidious, and I never got it.
And Insidious?
Yeah, like there's a little bit of like
There's
world
a
building.
little
Like
bit.
there's
Probably-
some, and like it's all exposition from when. Yeah.
I feel like any like horror movie fan, like any horror movie that comes out, we're gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Like even because this was a trailer I saw during the Conjuring 3 was the Forever Purge. I was like, this movie looks so bad, but am I gonna go see it? Absolutely.
Yay!
I've never seen any of the Purges.
They're
Really?
one of them at least is on the list.
The first one's on the list.
Absolutely none of them.
I haven't seen beyond the second
I'm
one.
kind of excited to see it. I just want to see how.
I want to see how it
I want
ends.
it. I want it done. I want to see a
Yeah,
solid
I want to see
ending.
how this ends. And
I mean, the first purge was okay.
How does it even end? I don't understand.
Yeah,
the
that's
only
why-
thing
that's
That's why
why
you-
we're
you
gonna
gotta
go
kinda
see
go
it
through
for
the-
you. We're gonna go see it for you. But
It's a journey. I mean, there's the whole series that I didn't watch.
I'm not gonna watch the series. But like the first movie was, which will be determined when we.
But the second one,
But the second one was so good, and the third one was pretty good. And then I actually, you know what? Actually, I don't think I saw the prequel. I should probably watch that
no.
before I watch
This
the
is,
new one.
Like,
but
the sequel of The Purge is what the first is what the first movie should have been. Just like
okay, all right. Yeah.
just like Magic Mike. The second one is
you
what
know
the
what?
first
Yeah,
one should
yeah.
have been.
Yeah.
I
But
want to watch that bitchy movie with the Bella Thorne in it.
Assassination Nation.
We just
you haven't
watched
seen
that.
huh?
No, can I tell you like a
Oh my
a
God,
funny thing
I
that happened at your
fucking love that
a
movie.
funny
We gotta
thing
watch
that
it.
happened at your last apartment? So like Antonio, I would always use Antonio's bathroom because it was like the public bathroom. Sorry. And I would use your bathroom, and you always had that ticket on the floor. And I don't know why you ever moved it. You never moved it, but
Call
it's
him
okay,
out.
you
I probably
did
just
it.
threw it
Call
away.
him out.
Because I was like,
I just never
because-
threw it away.
No, I'm not trying to drag him or anything, but I was just like, oh fuck, I always wanted to see that movie, and every time I'm just like, oh fuck, I want to see it. Every time I'm just like,
Where even
fucking
was
see
it?
the
Just
movie.
the ground.
it was just on the ground.
Oh
in the
my
bathroom.
God. You know what's funny?
That was before Chester moved in.
before. I don't know if we're gonna do this for the podcast, but that movie, like, I remember I was like, I really want to go see this movie, and you were like, meh. And like we watched it, and you were like, wow. And I was like, I fucking
Well, that
told
ending
you.
scene. Oh, if we do it for the podcast, I am so excited for
Well, first
Dolly
of
to see
all,
that ending scene.
I've never seen it, but I've
I'll-
always wanted to.
I'll put it on the list just cause
I like that one.
it's a
I don't-
great
It
movie.
got
It
buzz.
is
It
such
got
a good
buzz.
movie. It's such a good
Ugh,
movie.
I'm still sitting here, however many years later, waiting for that stupid song to come out. Incredible.
fucking Sia and Labyrinth. What are you guys doing? And Diplo. What are y'all doing?
What are y'all
Man.
doing?
I did like that album, LSD.
Yeah, it's a good album. But I like that song. Because
Yeah.
I remember when we saw that movie, I was like, what was that song that played? That was a good song.
It was a good song. And
I
kept
remember the
looking for it.
specific scene. She's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's in the high school bathroom.
They should release it while we're at it. Hey, Rihanna, can you release birthday? Can you release all of the birthday cake songs?
Yeah.
While we're
Also,
while we're making
like,
requests.
hey, while we're at it, Spotify, can you put Holding Out for a Hero on the Shrek 2 album
Hey, while
on
we're at it,
Spotify?
while we're at
Mhm.
it, hey, Gaga, can you release more of your unreleased tracks, please?
Hey, Gaga, can you release Art Pop Act 2?
Yeah, can you release R2?
R2D2?
R2?
Art Pop Squared.
And while we're at it, Spotify, put the Country Bears on Spotify, please.